Hello everybody, it's the Historical Gamer once again, and today we're returning to Rule the Waves 3, our Let's Play series, playing as the Italians in this game, and it is 1910. We've been playing this for over 25 episodes, so I don't think I need to introduce the game again, but we're in the midst of a war with Austria-Hungary. The war is relatively young. It's 6 months in. We are winning slightly, 9,600 victory points to 7,000. We have sunk 3 enemy battleships, but we've also lost 3 armored cruisers, and the enemy battle cruisers are really a problem in this game. The enemy has 5 battle cruisers. We have no Dreadnought class ships yet. We have 2 which will be ready in about 6 months. But every time we seem to run into them, especially like cruiser actions, the battle cruisers are always there, and my armored cruisers are always fighting at a disadvantage. The Austrians only have 4 armored cruisers. We have 8, but they have 5 battle cruisers, which means in almost every single fight, they can control the engagement with the speed, they can keep the range out, they can pound us from a distance. And so the only time we've really been able to get close with them was a fleet engagement where we destroyed their 3 battleships. But my armored cruisers, which were up north and away from the rest of the action, got ambushed by the battle cruisers and wiped out, although we did a little bit of damage to their battle cruisers. We did have them blockaded briefly, but it looks like the blockade has been broken. And so we're at war, and tensions are pretty good with everybody else. Unrest levels are low. We've already won a war against them. We've already taken Dalmatia from them. So there's really no advantage to this war other than the fact that we can hurt their economy a bit and we can get a little bit of reparations from them. But we can't expand the empire. So Dalmatia and Albania are ours. We'd like to expand further, but that won't happen in this war. So let's see what happens next. Our finances are not great. We're negative 500 at the moment with our fleet. We are building, like I said, some battle cruisers and dreadnoughts. The battle cruisers are 4 months away, and we've got a bunch of ships halted that I would like to be unhalted, but I don't have the money. So I don't think financially anything will change for the next 4 months or so. So let's go ahead and jump forward to the next month and see what we have in store for us. Coastal raid, estimated enemy forces, 1 battle cruiser, 3 armored cruisers, 29 destroyers. Now this may reflect the fact that I think at least 3 of their battle cruisers were damaged in the battle last month. So I'm going to fight this one on the hope that we won't find their battle cruisers waiting for us, or that it'll only be 1, and that our armored cruisers that didn't participate in the last battle or that were not damaged and are not being repaired are able to fight here. So maybe we can have a coast... Oh, there's a lot of words wasted for a battle that Austria-Hungary was going to decline. Okay, let's try that again with a convoy defense. They're going to decline again. All right. What I don't know is there a battle every month? Does the AI ever say, like, nope, we're going to decline every battle we fight? Looks like we've got another enemy coastal raid. Same situation. Enemy forces estimated to just be 3 armored cruisers, though. So let's see what they decline again. So I don't know if it's going to keep generating a battle. That feels like a bug. Like, it shouldn't just give me like 5,000 victory points until at some point the the enemy runs out of stops declining, because we get a ton of victory points for them declining all those battles. Now we have an unexpected enemy coastal raid that I guess no one can decline, and we're going to fight. So what do we have in this fight? We've got 2 armored cruisers, the Nerva and the Commodus. These are the Marcus Aurelius class armored cruisers, which I built. The Trajan, which was in the last battle, did not fare well and was sunk by the enemy battle cruisers. My hope is that 4 9-inch guns and 12 7s might be able to fight the enemy armored cruisers if we can get close enough, but they make 25 knots and I only make 22. So we've got 2 armored cruisers and 1 destroyer in this fight. The enemy has to sink at least 2 of our coastal ships, I think. So let's just see if we even run into them. It appears to be midnight. So if we do run into them, it's going to be at close range. I don't see where the enemy would possibly be. And I have no visual on anything going on. I'm assuming they're going to be in along our coast, so I don't want to like sail all the way out to... Well, I guess Dalmatia's ours, but... This may just be a sail around and don't actually find anything type battle. So in theory, a coastal raid would mean them bombarding our forts. I think. We haven't seen anything like that. We do have some coastal destroyers, but I can't command them, I don't think. Let's sail out to Pola and see. Okay, so we spotted something. Battle cruiser down here in the south, or at least there's a report of it. All right, they're shooting at merchant class ships, and I'm way out of position. Okay, we're heading south. Unidentified ship down here. Commodus and Nerva are in pursuit. We're going to slow down a little bit to -2 from max. I'm assuming my stokers might be exhausted after all that time at night sailing around at like near flank speed. Yep, they are. All right, so that's not great. But let's close. Means we're going to be slower than we otherwise would. That can't be a transport. All right, so at least one battle cruiser. And then it looks like a group of destroyers here. We're going to try and close the distance with them and get our guns into action, although the enemy is retreating from us. All right, pause. So what's going on so far? No damage here. We took a medium hit, but it didn't look like it penetrated because there's no damage. Nothing there. Espresso. Make flank speed and try and charge into the enemy. You're going to die for sure, but maybe you'll get the enemy to close range. Or at least divert their fire. Oh, shit. Heavy hit there, 27% damage. Looks like they took a turret out. So much for that. We're just going to retreat. There's no point in fighting this, or at least we'll duck under the coastal guns. We can't get in close. Again, this comes back to battle cruisers are hard to fight when you don't have battle cruisers. So they're going to turn around and come try and fight me, maybe? Espresso made it back into port. We barely fired any rounds because the enemy kept us at long range. So the enemy may come in and raid some of my shipping. I can't come back. No, they didn't. All right, so technically we won. We had one heavily damaged destroyer. We didn't damage any of their ships, so they failed to destroy any bombardment targets. So we get a very minor victory there. Plus all the battles that we won because the enemy didn't close to fight us. One of our major shipyards is short on orders and offering to build us another destroyer at 10 months for a 10% discount. Yeah, I'll take the offer. Any way to save money. The army wants more resources to prepare for an offensive that'll break through the front. Prime Minister's asking my opinion. I don't really have a lot of money to spare. But yeah, I'm always a supporter of the army. If they can do my job for me, I'm fine with that. But wow, that made the finances real bad for a bit. Negative 2,300. Also, that destroyer we're building does not look like it's a 10% discount unless it's building faster. Maybe it's building at a month faster speed. All right, we'll hold 4 destroyers and we can afford to move forward 1 more month. We got a coastal raid. The enemy battle cruisers that had been damaged are repaired. Let's see if we can fight. We only have the 1 armored cruiser, the Nerva. So this kind of sucks because it seems like we regularly get drawn into battles where we are under strength from the estimate, but the enemy is over strength. That's a little frustrating, to be frank. But it's a coastal raid for them. They have to destroy fortifications. Bad weather means limited visibility. Unknown ship is firing at an AV. Where? Is it over here? Over here? I don't... Also, AV, we don't have any float planes, so what's out there? Man, the day sighting range down to 4,000. I guess the weather's getting a little better. We'll sail up to Pola, see what's around the enemy ports. No sign of anything. The enemy's got to be out here somewhere. The turn would have ended by now. Nope. All right, I guess we win because they didn't do any damage. Fired for some shots and didn't sink enough. One of our armored cruisers has condenser trouble. 3 ships are finished their working up. Prime Minister sent feelers to neutral nations about a negotiated peace without border changes or reparations. No, we're winning this thing considerably. Don't let them off lightly. The peace is concluded with our side gaining some minor concessions. Okay. So no one bothered to listen to me, huh? Gotcha. That's fair, I guess. So much for the war. Almanac, what are you showing? Before my battle cruisers could even come in action. Our base resources went up pretty considerably. We're up to 16,000. I think we were at like 14 before. So that's nice. Our budget is in shambles. We've got battle cruisers coming online in 2 months. We're going to go ahead and scrap the THG class. It's only a temporary measure. I've got to get my budget balanced, and so the only way to do this is to scrap these pre-Dreadnoughts. I'll eat some prestige to do that. Go ahead and move the Romas to mothballs. They were just getting good crews, too. The Caesars to reserve, so all of our battleships are in reserve. The Palistros, they didn't seem useful. I'm going to scrap them. They're just... It says they're newer than the Romeos, but they're not. Scrap those. The Romeos will go to reserve. Marcus Aurelius will keep active. Cushions are going to go to reserve. We've got new ones coming online. It's fine. The monoliths, you're going to go to mothballs because you're basically just trade protection destroyers at this point. And then our Fulms will all go to reserve. I don't need active duty destroyers, right? Like if it looks like a war is going to come, I'll bring some guys back in active service to get their crews better. But for now, we'll put them in reserve and mothball the corvettes, which frankly might be worth scrapping, but they're so cheap, I'll keep them around. Meanwhile, construction, we've already got a lot of ships halted on the ways. Despite that, we're still negative 3 mil. So we'll halt the battleships for a month or 2. And then once the battle cruisers are ready, we'll resume them. Okay, so finances are... I mean, they are what they are. A lot of ships are paused, which is historically accurate. After wars, a lot of times ships get laid up. France is behind in tech. Interesting. Germany, the US, and Russia are advanced. So France is behind. So we'll put them to low. Germany, high. What else is high? US is high. Russia, are they advanced too? No, they're average. None, medium. Okay. Let's also scrap these subs. I'm going to build medium subs eventually. But that'll save me some maintenance costs. Not much, but some. Okay. Can we build some new subs? I've got a little bit of extra money. How much is a medium range sub? 190 build, so I can build 4 of the things. remember, the battleships are paused, so. Okay, so we're building 4 medium subs, 1,200 tons, probably like equivalent to, well, not really even World War II. We're nowhere near that tech yet. Anyway. Close to fleet cruising formation. We'll try and get to 1911. Yay, light cruiser partner up as commissioned in the Navy. Oh no, the Magnus is commissioned in the Navy, and during trials it's found its ship is having trouble reaching her design speed. That means we're going to have slow battle cruisers? Russia and Spain have signed an alliance. Stop signing alliances with Spain, guys. There's been an internal upheaval in Rhodes. If we send an expeditionary force to restore order, there's a chance that we can take it over as a colony. Someone must shoulder the burden. Or in these cases, send a force. Tensions are so low, why wouldn't we? Yay, we gained a colony. So the Italian Empire... Wait, I thought it said Rhodes was under my control. Is it because there's no border? There's no naval port there? How does that even work? Confused. It was, oh, I'm dumb. I was thinking it's the island of Rhodes, of course. Okay, so I guess we probably not notionally took that from the Ottomans. So yay, so we've got another Mediterranean province. I'm okay with that. Okay, it's probably not very valuable, but so we were at like 600 for our possession economy before, and now we're at 700. So we gained a little bit of economic strength out of there. Anyway, our so what do our battle cruisers make? They make 24 knots, which is slow. If we open the design for a rebuild, how do we get them to 25 knots? That's the design speed. We probably need to lose, and they even have a fair bit of weight remaining. Like, I know they're heavy. These guys, their armor belt is like a battleship, not a battle cruiser. A rebuild, maybe? Replace machinery with old to new? That's expensive, though. 1.8 million for a year. But maybe. I mean, it saves us quite a bit of weight. And I could possibly even get them up to 26 knots if I can find a little bit of weight savings elsewhere. Can you increase the gun size? Can you do that? No. What are rebuild options here? This turret can be rebuilt to a 16-inch or smaller 1-gun turret, an 8-inch or smaller 3-gun turret. No. I can cut 5 rounds of ammo. I could cut... That doesn't even help. I could cut 5 rounds of ammo to save 60 tons. Reduce the turret armor to 11.5. And it'd be 3.7, which is like building a new ship, but only for a year. And she'd get up to 26. I just feel like the 24 knots is very slow. I feel like that's going to be a problem. I guess we'll keep it that for now, but if a war looks like it's starting to get close, I may throw them into rebuild just to get them up to 25 knots. Because we know the enemy battle cruisers all make a minimum like 25 knots. Every design we've seen. In any event, let's go ahead and resume the dreadnoughts that we're building. There goes our money that we were back in the black. All right, we've got 2 Parthenopes that are almost 2 years out. Let's go ahead and resume the destroyers first. Okay, we can afford this for a little while. We're going to need to build a new, better Dreadnought class or really probably battle cruiser class, because the French ones really outclass us. And I want to go to war with the French. They're the ones who have all the colonies that I want. I would like to go to war with the Spanish too. They feel like they'd be an easy victory, except for the fact that they're allied to both Russia and Great Britain. A new triple entente, not the one you thought. Discount entente. All right, let's see if we can resume these guys for a few months. Get to November 1911, or 1911, generally. Conservative newspapers are reporting that other nations laugh at our weakness in armored cruisers. No one builds armored cruisers anymore. No one's laughing at us. Look at the CA. No one is building any. Yeah, we only have 5. But no one's building any. We have more than Austria-Hungary. If you still think armored cruisers are relevant in the era of the battle cruiser, I have a bridge to sell you. Unless there's an arms limitation treaty, I don't know if we'll ever build any armored cruisers. I suppose maybe as like a commerce raider, a more economical commerce raider, but that would you just be as good well off doing CLs for that. It seems like AI nations build way too few light cruisers, by the way, once you have Dreadnoughts available. No one has any money for anything except Dreadnoughts, I guess. All right, so we have 2 battle cruisers in service. Building 2 Dreadnoughts. How many destroyers do we have in service? 30. We'll have 39 when these next 9 are built. Let's build one more. The Fulham really haven't impressed me. Did we ever get the double swivel mount torpedo tubes? I don't think we did. Also, don't have those stupid turrets. 1 fore, 1 aft, 4-inch guns, good enough. So we can make a 900-ton destroyer with 3 torpedo tubes on the center line and swivel mounts, but I want doubles, and I don't have that tech yet. I need that tech. There's no point in building a new class of destroyers till we have that tech. Research. They're so fun. Research, everyone. Light force and torpedo warfare. I think that would be where the tech would be, so let's up that to high priority. Fire control is already pretty advanced. Machine development's pretty advanced. Machine feels important, but we're going to lower that just so we can get other things developed. Hey, scientists, figure it out. You guys kind of suck right now. 3 ships finished working up. One of our major shipyards is short on orders and is offering to build a destroyer at 10 months for a 10% discount. I was going to build another film anyway, just so we had an even 40 destroyers, but I'll take the discounted offer. A revolution in African countries left some of our nationals stranded. Send a strong squadron to bombard the capital until the citizens are released. Yes. Secondary turrets on battleships. Enable secondary guns in turrets on battleships. Didn't we already have that? Or was that a rate of fire control thing? Okay, so we're getting uncomfortably high tensions with Great Britain. I don't mind France, I think. France is allied to who? No one. So I'd be fine going to war with France, even though they're dramatically more powerful than me, and I struggle against Austria-Hungary, and they were way less powerful, but at least we have battle cruisers now we can play with. They still have 20 pre-Dreadnought battleships, but they are decommissioning them slowly. Their destroyers would be a concern. Their submarines less so. We've got 1 more month until one of our destroyers is finished. We also have one of our armored cruisers finished in a month, and if that all happens, our financial situation will get much better real quick. Okay. So if we open this for rebuild, these guys are in casemates. If I put them in turrets, well, I don't know why it says I can do that then. These are secondary guns and turrets. And you're telling me there's a rate of fire penalty, even though my scientists just made a miraculous discovery. I feel like I was lied to. Already commissions into the Navy. and so does our destroyer. The British government is offering to sell us the rights to 11-inch guns of quality 0 for 4.5 million. I'm not going to buy it because I don't want to spend that money on a gun I'm not going to use. Fleet cruising formation is unlocked. Finances get a bit better. We're going to send the part nope to foreign station, and then we're going to go ahead and move this ship back to the med. And then we'll put it into reserve or mothballs once we do that. Honestly, why even have any of these guys in reserve? We should move them to mothballs. Crews get a little worse, I guess, but my light cruisers didn't really factor in the last battle. I'm not sure why they'd factor, or last war. I'm not sure why they'd factor in this one. I suppose as raiders. That's about it. Okay. Move forward another month. Japanese government is interested in buying the right to ship design light cruiser configuration. Japan is the country we have the best relations with, and I like money. So give me money. They're working on a lot of things. Our scientists have started research into a fascinating new area, naval aviation. 14-inch guns, quality 0. That'll be our next battleship. Did we end up doing the Victor Emanuels in 13-inch? We did. Okay. The 13 is going to be that weird intermediate step. Also, we're 2 months away from completing a dockyard expansion, which we badly need. That was one of the reasons I didn't design a new class of ships, is I couldn't build dockyards large enough for them. We're 2 months away on that. That'll also free up some additional cash. 2 destroyers commissioned to the Navy. Seems we have the smallest total tonnage of large cruisers, CAs or BCs, in service. The Prime Minister's displeased. Guys, double torpedo tubes! You guys, I don't care. Why do I care about cruisers? All right, let's see what we can design if everybody's so pissed. I don't want to do another 12-inch gunned armored cruiser. So let's do a auto design of a battle cruiser, 25,000 tons, 24 knots. Really? That's it? 14-inch guns. Big boys. Why are you doing that? You have superimposed turrets now. Pocket battleship. That'd be funny. The AI is also recommending an illegal design. That's great. Aft superimposed. Oh, it looks ugly. Let's just redo this. Stop doing stupid designs. Okay, let's get rid of the aft centerline. Wait, aft centerline superimposed. You're going to fire through something, or maybe you're firing over this, I guess, in theory. Okay, so you've got 2 13 inches in front, 2 13 inches in the rear. Let's change that up to 14 inches. So you've got 8 14-inch guns. I don't understand why the game really doesn't want me to have casemates on my 5-inch guns. If I do like 8-inch guns, will that not allow? So what's the thing where it won't give me a penalty? Nothing. Okay, fine. Stick to casemates. So I'm way overweight. 25 knots, 1,000 tons overweight. I'd be more concerned about the deck being 12 and a half. The belt armor, we're not going to do much with, like, that's not going to stop the shells that we're shooting. What if we drop the aft centerline superimposed and we do, this is kind of like the repulse class where they just had the 2 turrets in the front and 1 in the back. So he still makes 25 knots, a 10-inch belt, which is better than any of the battle cruisers I've seen of the AI. So this is kind of going, all right, let's go with armor over, not really, oh, I guess over firepower. You've only got 6 main guns. Can we get up to 26 knots? We could. What's the plunging fire here? So inside 18,000 yards, we're safe at deck armor. And we basically can't stop 14-inch shells at any range on this ship. Turret top 3 inches. We'll do 3. We'll do 2.5. We'll just hope. So 26 knots with 2.5 turret top, 2.5 deck, 10 belt. That feels like a pretty good belt to me for a battle cruiser. It's only got 6 guns, which I suppose could be a limitation. You could do it, change it down to 3. That doesn't definitely the weight isn't better. Wait, hull is too narrow for an A or Y positions. Really? So I don't understand the hull width. But B is the, oh. So I could bump it up by 1 gun and I'd still be overweight. So really, 14-inch at 2 and 2 is the way to go. Again, it's kind of the renown / repulse design here. Turrets have an 11-inch rating, which isn't great. Like anything inside 14,000 yards, that turret gets hit, it's going up. We have a little bit of weight to play with. We could go to 11.5. Finagle some other stuff. We could slow down also, and that would give me more weight. We reduce the 5-inchers to 14. I don't really know what the upper belt is. So at 11.5, our turrets can stop hits up to 13,000 yards, and that's where things start becoming a problem. Six inches of armor on 5-inch guns doesn't make a lot of sense. We'll drop it down to 5, so it's equal to the turret. As long as the damn thing doesn't blow up. Medium range, normal accommodations. I don't know, we could do this. It'll take 3 years to build. Like it's not a commerce raider by any means, but this is very much like a scout battle cruiser as opposed to the other class, which I feel is more like a battle line battle cruiser. How much would it take to get to 27,000 knots or 27 knots? It's probably more of a weight issue than anything. What are the AI countries building? Great Britain, ships. Battle cruisers here, 23 knots, 18 knots? 18 knots, 18 knots. That seems silly. France, battle cruisers, 28 or 18 knots? That can't be right. No, it says 24. What am I looking at? Where am I looking at? Speed 18. Speed 18. Well, anyway, those are 24. Didn't we get intelligence on the Aquitaine? Oh, here's one of them. 24. Okay, so the enemy's going with firepower. The Austrians have a slight speed advantage of 25, but it feels like 25 might, well, who knows? In 3 years, 25 might not be enough, but yeah, should have saved that design. Let's go back here, auto design. Delete this turret. Increase our secondary guns to 5 inchers, but only 10 of them. 10 3-inch guns as well. I always use the 3s because they got the quality 1, so they're good guns. 14-inch main guns. We could do 27 knots. What did I change? Oh, the deck armor's not enough. It's got to be at least 2.5. Okay. So 2.5 deck, 11-inch belt, 11.5 on the turrets, 14-inch guns, 26 knots, 10 5-inch guns, 10 3-inch guns. I'm okay with this design. We will have bigger shipyards in 1 month, but for a battle cruiser, I think this is okay. So let's go with that. We will call it... I'm going to ironically call it the Tortuga class. Not very Italian, but... Do we have torpedoes? We do. Again, this is more of a fleet reconnaissance ship. Like, it's not going to serve in the line of battle very well. It could. 14-inch guns. But with that speed, it's designed more to, like, race out and do stuff. You know, let's open the THG up for a redesign. Let's try and get it up to its design speed of 25 knots. So we're going to do replace machinery, which will give me additional weight. I'll try and get it to 26 knots. The upper belt is heavier than it needs to be. 3 inches is what the new ships do. We'll drop the conning tower to 11 inches. Didn't even save any weight. That's great. Reduce the number of secondaries to 12 instead of 14, so that's 1 per side. Be cool if we could add a aft centerline superimposed double. Not really what I wanted to do, but can I do this? Oh. Nope. Crap. All right. Let's gotta redo the redo. So replace machinery. Increase speed. Reduce secondaries. Reduce upper belt. And what else did I change? I'm blanking now. Okay. 26 knots is 2 knots faster than they currently are. It'll take a year at 2.4 mil. Okay, save and redo that design, I guess. So we'll rebuild the THG. And the Magnus. Take a look at this. Shipyards are busier than they've ever been. We'll have to halt some stuff, though, because we don't have the money for all this. So there's a design study for new dreadnoughts that I can't, or new battle cruisers. That'll be done in 4 months. Probably won't start building any of those till the Victor Emmanuels are done. You know what I should have done is shorten the range. Well, it was a battle cruiser. I think medium range on that is important, or at least worth it. You know, there's no rush here. They're 5 months away. Let's halt the construction on one of those. Where are the submarines? How close are they? 10 more months. New docks are completed. A scandal involving important dignitaries from Great Britain has occurred at a party given on a world cruise by one of your ships. How do you handle the incident? Use it to embarrass Great Britain? Hush it up. I'm not looking to go to war with Great Britain. In fact, I would rather reduce tensions with them, so that works. All right, dockyards are up to 28,000 tons, which we will use eventually, I'm sure. All right, budget is balanced. Let's go another month. Anti-Spanish rebellion broke out in the Philippines. I would have liked to take the Philippines from Spain. 2 new destroyers are commissioned to the Navy. Wow, 12 6-inch guns on this French light cruiser class of 1910. That's a good light cruiser class. Better steel quality. Okay. I'm going to move these working up destroyers into the reserve fleet once they're done working up. I'm just not going to have any active duty destroyers. How many destroyers are we going to be up to, by the way? 40? It's a pretty good number, I think. We'll kill them real quick, but it's a pretty good number. Okay, so 2 more months on the design study. Some destroyers will be done next month. Two more destroyers commissioned into the Navy. This is the Lutzow, a German dreadnought, or a German battle cruiser. She has 8 13-inch guns. We'll have 6 on our newer class. This might be a super firing turret based on this little platform it looks like that's under there, but it's got 2 triples and a double. Okay. 14 6-inch guns. The enemy really likes to throw 6-inch guns, or not the enemy, but the AI really likes to throw 6-inch guns as their secondaries in this game. Okay. I like to lay my ships down in pairs too, so we'll probably do 2 of the new battle cruiser class. No, that would have been bad. Okay. All right, we'll resume the Umberto. Recent improvements in productivity have boosted our industrial production. Does that mean I get more money? Spanish battleship. Spain would wish. Spain would wish this was one of their dreadnoughts. They did have some undersized dreadnoughts historically. I guess that is kind of undersized. The Minister of the Navy wants to have a look at details of this battle cruiser study. Sure. I'm sure you'll have some insightful comments that'll improve the design, sir. There's no 1 month isn't going to make a difference. Not worth the prestige hit. Plus, then one of our battleships will be done, so I'll have some cash for the first of the battle cruisers to be laid down. Victor Emmanuel is commissioned into the Navy. Go to the build screen. Or not Victor Emmanuel. Yeah, that was the Victor Emmanuel. Never mind. I don't know what I'm talking about. Tortuga class battle cruiser. Yep, we'll lay one down. I mean, it should be the Tortuga. So, all right. So the Tortuga is being laid down. It'll take just shy of 3 years. 2,700 or 2,700 will be the cost. So budget not looking so great at the moment. Halt's one of the rebuilds on the, I guess this one's the Magnus. Industrial production is soaring as new methods and technologies are introduced. Cool. All right. So we currently have 4 Dreadnought class ships on the slipways. 2 of them for rebuilds, 2 of them for new construction. So we do not have a lot of spare. We've got 62,000 tons in spare capacity. Okay. Oh, we got another 1,000 tons in, or no, we didn't. We're at 28. That's what we were at before. Submarines are 4 months away. All right, we are going to reserve fleet all of these destroyers. The whole destroyer flotilla. No one's practicing. One of the Partnopes is reserved as well. Reserve the Clio. All my cruisers are pretty much reserved. I've got 3 armored cruisers that make port of calls, and that's it. Those are the only active ships in the entire Navy. Everybody else is on holiday. That's probably not very realistic. And the 1 battle cruiser battleship that we're commissioning. 200. This is the cost of a destroyer just to hold it in place and not do anything with it. That is foolish on my part. All right, we'll get it active next turn. Prime Minister floats the idea of a gunnery competition for all ships in the Navy. He believes that it'll increase morale. Sure. It's just for this month. Marcus Aurelius wins the Prime Minister's Cup. Of course, it's one of the only 3 active ships in the Navy with the best crews. Oh my God, my budget. Look at that. Negative 3,000. All right, we'll halt this. Get us back into the black. All right, so another one of our battle cruisers finished. And just like that, it's a financial miracle. Resume on the rebuilds. And we've still got a little bit of cash to play with. So we're going to lay down a second of the Tortuga classes. We'll call this one the XTRG. And we're back in the red. Okay. So the Navy now has 2 battleships. And 4 battle cruisers. Well, two that are being rebuilt and 2 that are being built. So maybe folks will be less angry at us, right? Like if in terms of our tonnage, battle cruiser tonnage will be 100,000 tons. I don't know why it gives us credit for ships that aren't done. They're like all under construction, but we won't have the least amount of ships of tonnage for cruisers anymore. I don't think 100,000, 164,000 beats Russia, beats Spain. Comes close to beating Austria-Hungary. I got a lot of below average captains and senior commands for what it's worth. Okay. These corvettes are old and worthless. I feel like they have although 3 ASW, I guess it's worth it. Saves the destroyers to do other things. Anybody need to be rebuilt? You guys are going on 10 years old. But these are mothballed pre-Dreadnoughts. What would be even the point? What could we even do? If we open for a rebuild, 3 months at 500, replace machinery. We get them up by 2 knots. We can get them up to 22 knots. Can't change the torpedo defense. Could change their engines to coal turbines. Get them probably up to 23 knots if we really wanted to. Spend a year and a bunch of money on some pre-Dreadnoughts. I don't know that I want to do that. I'm content with allowing them to be second line ships right now. All right, negative $1 million at the moment. We can bear this cost for almost 3 months, so we'll just kind of continue to proceed. We're in January of 1912. There's been an internal upheaval in Greece. France is apparently sending a force. We should issue an ultimatum demanding they back down. Push for an international force. Fuck France. France is unimpressed by our ultimatum and they occupy Greece. Bastards. Hey, we can now have airships. It's a little early. It's only 1912, but... So France now has Greece. And we're basically on the verge of war with France. Their tensions are 1 or 2 away from war. They have 3 battleships in service. We have 2. They have 5 battle cruisers in service. We have 2, but they're rebuilding. We will have 4 in about 2 years. So battle cruisers we won't be too far behind on. Battleships, no. Their pre-Dreadnoughts pose a problem because they've got 18 of them. Their armored cruisers, I think ours are probably better. They only have 1 more. Their light cruisers are probably better than ours. Ours might be better for commerce rating, but they got like big 6-inch guns on theirs. We'll have 1 more when they're done building. And they got a lot more destroyers. So like they have a much better fleet. Although I'm suspecting maybe our medium subs will be better when they complete in another month. So I guess we'll move forward 1 more month. Private shipbuilding expands our dockyard by 500 tons. Our 4 subs commission. That's a pre-Dreadnought design. I don't care about that. The Philippines are now independent. Good for you guys. Okay, so we just commissioned 4 subs. If we're really going to go to war with France, although tensions dropped last month, but if we're really going to go to war with France, I think we need a larger submarine fleet. So we're going to build 6 more of the medium subs. For eventually a flotilla of 18. We'll halt the Magnus for a month on the rebuild to get our finances in order. If I can push the war with France to 1913, I think I'll be in a little bit better shape. Also, we need to design a destroyer that takes advantage of the double torpedo mounts. We can now do 1,100-ton destroyers too. So tensions with everybody are actually kind of getting in better shape. Our economy keeps getting better. Our budget just went up by 6,000 more. Why are our tensions dropping? Like, the world is happy right now? Bastards. All right. The THD number 2 rebuild should be done this month. Another 1,000 tons from private shipbuilding. Japan and Great Britain are extending their alliance. The Russian government is offering to sell its rangefinder 12 feet for 4.8 million. Yes. I'm bankrupt, but I'll worry about it later. All right. Okay, we'll resume those. New light cruiser. As it turns out, Commander Koshia, unassigned, has connections with the company producing our rangefinders. He has contributed materially to the efficiency of the equipment, but it also seems made good money on the arrangement. I'm sure he had good intentions, and it was all for the good of the service. I'll take the prestige hit. Give me better rangefinders. Someone just developed 15-inch guns. Who was that? Germany. German manufacturers are now advertising 15-inch guns. Yes, I'm sure they're advertising them. I'm glad our tensions with everybody else are low, but I would like to be at war with France. That's who I want to fight next. Okay, everything is done except our 2 new battle cruisers, which are both 2 years out. So it might be time to build a new battleship design. Our budget's gone way up. The economy is booming. It's not better than France. It's about what Russia's is at. Less than Germany, the US, more than Japan or Spain or Austria-Hungary. But we've got 2 battleships in service, which puts us only 1 behind France. 2 battle cruisers in service puts us 3 behind France, but we've got 2 more coming. They've only got 1 more coming. It feels like we could design a new class of destroyers, a larger class of destroyers with the double torpedo mounts. That might be worthwhile. I think we'll see what we should do, but I think that's for another time. We've been going for almost an hour now, and things are cruising along. I don't know these 2 differences. Maintenance of all... Okay, so 1.8 million is when we turn all these ships on. We are the reserve fleet. Come join us. But yeah, I think that's for another time. We'll probably design our 2nd battleship class in our next episode. Until our next episode, however, this is the Historical Gamer. Once again, saying thank you very much for watching. And as always, until next time, I'm out.